A lot of them thought I was the intern, or they didn't respect my voice. So I think it was more so just because I
say, how's the fam?
How's the fam?
Hey everybody, welcome back to How's the Fam, okay? Today I'm joined by my coworker turned good friend, okay? Also, very, very devoted church member of mine, right? Kia, welcome to the fam, man.
Thank you for having me.
Dude, this is so cool. This is going to be so great. But first, Kia, I want you to introduce yourself to the fam just so they know who you are.
My name is Kia. I'm from Mobile, Alabama. I went to Alabama A&M. And I met Tyler at work, and he later introduced me or invited me to church, and I met his family, his wife Keisha, and it's been good knowing you so far. It's been
cool, man. It's been awesome knowing you so far too. Cause from when I met you was already up. But like you've been up like ever since I've met you. It's been pretty cool. And I don't know what just happened up there. My kids are upstairs, y'all, while we're recording, so it is what it is. We like to start each episode. Today we're gonna be talking about you want me to say about? Oh, yeah. All right, cool. Today we're going to be talking about like just transitioning from being a college student to being an adult and everything that comes with that. Okay, with the ups, the downs, the sides, the lefts, the rights, all that good stuff. So if that sounds good to you, sit back and enjoy the episode. But before we get into it, we have a segment called Just Checking In. And Just Checking In is exactly what it sounds like. We just say a little something that happened in our lives and we keep it pushing. And my Just Checking In story is I'm getting the youth ready for this crazy idea that I have. All right, so every year in my church we do a musical, right? And so this musical, like currently there is nothing planned for the youth, like absolutely nothing planned for the youth that they know of. And I'm debating, like I was getting the kids prepped and ready for this event, but only like 5 of them like answered the call to actually do it. So I'm over here like, hey, this is gonna be super cool. This is gonna be super crazy. I'm organizing it behind the scenes, so I'm like, I'm being like the shady church members. Like, hey man, let me hold $100. I just need $100 for an event that's happening with the youth. I was like, ain't no youth event. It's like, shh, super shady. But it's gonna be super dope, and I can't wait to tell you guys about it. I can't wait to like actually see it. Like everybody in the church gonna really like this. And that's been my Just Checking In story. Kiki, not Kiki. Kia. You know what's bad? You know what's weird? In high school, I dated like 3 different people with K names, right?
Oh my
including
goodness.
Keisha. And so what would happen was like Keisha was the last of the 3 K names that I dated. And so every once in a while I would mess up like just the K name, and Keisha would just be like, don't do that again. Yes. I'm like, hey man, like it is what it is. But Kia, do you have any do you have a Just Checking In story for the fam?
I'm just getting ready for the holidays. I'm going back home to Mobile, and that's all.
That's what's up, man. Do you got the tree up already?
I'm working on it.
Oh!
It's still in the garage.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it pre-lit?
Yes, pre-lit.
I know you was a pre-lit person. You look.
It's
I know
easy.
it. My homeboy JP was just on here. He said there's a long debate between like not married people, but like single people who have their own spot. And it's like, do you go pre-lit or do you do like the whole traditional lights, get up, all this other stuff? And he said the pre-lit people winning by a long shot.
Yes. They are. That's the easiest thing to do.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. And that has been Just Checking In, you guys. But before we get into the main event, we do have a sponsor for today's episode, and I'm wearing it loud and proud right here. It is Pray, Plan, Execute, you guys. Pray, Plan, Execute is an athleisure, faith-based brand, and they strive on the idea of that you should just wear your faith, okay? The owner, the CEO, founder of the company, he has this very simple motto that first you must pray to God so that he can reveal what your purpose is, and then you must plan and execute so that you can find fulfillment. For if you also believe in something like that, or if you need a daily reminder of just that, swing by PrayPlanExecute.shop. Again, that is PrayPlanExecute.shop, and use code FAM at checkout. That is code FAM, F-A-M. We got a discount for my family because I know that you guys are trying to achieve your purpose, okay? Pray, Plan, Execute is bigger than a brand. It's a lifestyle, okay? So now we're on to the main event, everybody. And Kia has quite a story to tell. But before we get into like the nitty gritty of it, Kia, Tell us why you decided to go to a HBCU.
So the reason why I wanted to go to HBCU is because my mom went to Grambling State, and so I've always wanted to go to HBCU to kind of follow in her footsteps. Because of my scholarship, I had to go to a school that was in-state, that was a public school. My first choice was Tuskegee.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yes. But Tuskegee is a private school.
Yes,
it's very expensive.
Yes.
So my second choice was Alabama A&M.
That's what's up, man. You know what's crazy? My first choice was Mississippi State. And then when I went up there, like, they treated me so weird and bad that I was like, I don't even want to go no more. I was like, I don't want to go. I'm getting my ball. I'm going home. That's what's up, man. So when you attended your HBCU, right, when you attended that school,
A&M, the best school.
when you attended A&M, like, what was the vibe? What was the vibe like when you were there? And like transitioning from freshman to senior year, what advice do you have for people going through that transition?
From freshman to senior
Yeah,
year?
from freshman to senior year, because there's a lot of growth that happens in those 4 years.
I think the main thing is to have fun, but also be responsible. You want to make school your priority, so you want to go to class, get good grades, but you also want to enjoy homecoming, the step shows, the different events. A lot of times some students just focus on their academics and they don't participate in any social events. Mm-hmm. So you kind of want to do a little bit of both.
So like, how did you being a black woman in tech actually affect you?
In school, it didn't really affect me. It was definitely more men in the class than females. It was probably like 20 guys in my engineering classes versus 5 women. But I think everyone did well in school and everyone graduated that I was in school with. But once I got into corporate America, I think it was an adjustment just because a lot of them thought I was the intern or they didn't respect my voice. So I think it was more so just because I looked young and was black.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay, that's fair. And so how did you overcome that?
I'm still trying to overcome it. I mean, I'm 31 and most people think I'm still in my 20s. So.
Yeah. Keisha has low-key the same problem. In college, I know you met your husband or your ex-husband. Would you like to explain it, like, I guess the story of like how y'all met, what that was like, and then why it ultimately did not work?
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, I met my husband in college, and we went to the same school. We actually met during a Christian group church that we were going to. They kind of had like a Friday night where they bring the college students in and they feed us. They share a message, and then we play games afterwards.
Food is the perfect that's the perfect magnet to get people there. Yeah.
So I kind of met him through that, and we kind of just became friends over time, and then developed a relationship. After that, we got married while we were both still in school, and then once I graduated, I got a job in Texas. I think that kind of really put a strain on our relationship because he was still in school and I was working. I was the primary provider of the household, and he was more traditional, and he couldn't be traditional in that sense. So I think for the most part, he kind of got away from the church, and that kind of just really hurt our marriage. And then he started to act single. So once he did that, it was, I couldn't go back. So
yeah. And so he started to act. So at the end, was there a part of you that wanted it to just hang on and try to make it work, or did you realize nah, this is actually over? Let me take steps to make sure to separate.
No, I think for me, growing up in a Baptist church, you never hear about divorce. You always hear about marriage and sticking to it and staying with that one person for the rest of your life. So as a Christian, I wanted my marriage to work, and I did go to counseling. But over time, I felt like he just kind of got away from just going to church and reading the Bible. And so he started doing things as a single man. And so it was only so much I could take. The non-communication was a problem. Just not being a provider or helping me financially was a problem as well. So I just ultimately decided to file for divorce. Now, during that time, I did notify him. He did reach back out to me, and I did tell him what I did. And he was very apologetic, and he wanted to make it work. So I was willing to make it work with him. We went back to counseling, but I think this time he didn't want to own up to his faults. And so when the counselor was saying, hey, you did something wrong here, he didn't want to own up to it. He kind of just said, well, we need to go to a different counselor. So eventually over time, you know, there were things that I said, these are my deal breakers. If you don't honor that, then I have to step away. And he ultimately continued to do what he wanted to do, and so I had to step away.
That's fair. Okay. And so now, like, you're in a new state, more or less, right? You went through the whole process of, like, going to counseling and trying to make it work. It ultimately didn't work, and you're in a new state that you thought, like, he was going to join you in, and now you're not joined by him, right? So what is the process of, like, being able to stand on your own 2 feet and just be like, well, that happened, now that is my past, we got to move forward? What does that look like for you?
So for me, it was just work and church. Like, that's all I did. The job that I was in, I had the opportunity to work a lot of overtime, so I just worked it. I worked, saved my money, bought a house, and then
nice house, by the way.
Not as nice as yours.
No, man, no, I'm trying to get like you.
So, bought a house, and then I switched jobs, and that's how I met Tyler. And then he introduced me to a different church, so I started to go to that church, trying to get more involved in the church. And so,
oh, I stole you from a different church?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. But I didn't have a church out here. I was in Commerce.
Oh, yeah. Commerce is far. Yeah. You was better off. All right, bet.
So once I started to go to church out here, just really networking with different people, trying to meet people at work. Since I was in a different group, there were more black people in that group. It was still male dominated, but it was more African Americans there. So it was a good group, other than the actual work part.
What was wild about that? I've learned, like, more or less, the work is the work. It is what it is. For the most part, the people make the job, like, enjoyable or whatever. So as long as you're working with people that's, like, easy to work with, your job gonna be all right. All right. You actually do a lot of networking events. Like, you even asked me not too long ago, you're like, yo, you going to the Nesby event? And then my answer is the same every single time. It's like, nah, you ain't gonna see me there. But what is the benefit of, like, what is the benefits you found from doing different networking events and effectively networking, more or less?
I recently got a new job at a new company, and that was during
it was doing that gangster.
During the pandemic. And so it was hard because a lot of people were wearing masks. No one was doing face-to-face meetings. So I kind of wanted to network just to meet people on my team, just to meet people that were a part of the company. So that's the reason why I did it, just to get more familiar with people.
And so on top of that, while you were doing your networking, you actually found a mentor, right? And, like, you have more than one mentor, if I'm wrong. Yeah. And so why is mentorship so important to you?
To me, it's just having someone that holds you accountable. Like you say, you have a goal and they're saying, okay, well, did you do X, Y, and Z to achieve this goal? And it's good to have different mentors because you want to do different things in your life. So you want to have maybe someone who can help you spiritually, like make sure, okay, are you going to church? Are you actually participating in church activities? Are you helping the community? And then you can also have one at work where they can help you say, okay, have you talked to this person? Have you updated your resume? Like, anything that goals that you're working towards, a mentor is very helpful.
That's what's up, man. You know what's wild? I have mentors right now, but not like an official mentor. So your mentorship's like official?
I wouldn't say official, but we just meet like once a month, and we just kind of do we normally do like a phone call or a video Zoom, and we just kind of talk for 30 minutes. So.
Yo, I probably need to do that. Like, I ain't gonna even lie. I'm over here shooting from the hip. I'm like, yeah, man, I'll figure it out. That's awesome. All right, y'all. That has been the main event. Yo, I'm about to go ahead and wrap it up. We like to end each episode with this segment called Words of Encouragement, okay? So think of some words of encouragement that you can share with the audience for those who made it this far into the podcast, all right? All right, and for those who made it this far into the podcast, number one, thank you. This is my good friend Kia, man. I don't know. I just wanted people to hear her story and this, that, and the other, right? And low-key, I got low-key a little too curious. I started asking you, I was like, yeah, so what happened then? It is what it is. But for those of you who made it this far, go ahead and make sure you drop a like. Make sure you share the podcast with somebody who could truly be helped by the words that have been said in this episode, okay? Also, make sure you comment below some of the major takeaways you got from just listening to this episode. And let us know a topic you would like us to talk about in the future, okay? Make sure you check out Pray, Plan, Execute. Use code PrayPlanExecute.shop. Use code FAM and check out I Like the White Long Sleeve Joint. Check it out. I think you're going to like it a lot too. And my words of encouragement, y'all, are like, it's okay. Embrace your story. Like, you embrace your story because somebody's going to be blessed by what you've gone through, right? When you hold in your story and when you're like so tightly like onto it, you can't help the people who need to be helped by what you've been through. And God didn't give us these different tests and these different testimonies for us to keep it close to the chest. So do not be afraid of sharing your story. Make sure you let your story be out there. And like, let my daughter start crying. Walk in faith, knowing that you've overcome something in the past and you're stronger because of it. Okay. That is my words of encouragement. Kia, what do you have for the people?
I just want to say, just remain faithful that God is going to get you through whatever you're going through at the time. It's not going to last all the time. It's just temporary, and you're going to have a bigger blessing on the other side. So just keep your faith.
Hey, fam's all good over here. Y'all be blessed.